ES Audio.
From the Evening Standard in London, I'm David Marsland, and this is the Leader Weekends. Every Saturday, we bring you a bonus episode of our business podcast, How to Be a CEO. This is a cut-down version, so hit the link in the show notes to hear the full thing, or search your podcast provider for How to Be a CEO. There are new episodes every Monday morning.
For this London series this year, Celtic Cardinals. This is Home Run Derby X being held in Trafalgar Square, and it's where Major League Baseball is making a huge statement. They're taking over the centre of the capital. They're bringing over huge names: the Boston Red Sox, the New York Yankees, the Chicago Cubs, the St. Louis Cardinals. It's a really big event. There's loads of people here. But is this the sort of thing that can ignite a fever that takes over the country?
The fact that we are here in the heart of London, Trafalgar Square, putting on a home run derby? I mean, what? It's absolutely mind-blowing.
Now, if you're a baseball fan, you'll have instantly recognised Nick Swisher there. He's a full-on sporting hero, a World Series winning New York Yankees legend, a power-hitting all-star who smashed 245 home runs out of the park in an 11-year career. But you probably didn't. This is MLB's big problem. It's trying to break into the UK with a game that, frankly, not that many people here know about, not even the names of its biggest stars. And it's down to Ben Ladkin, who used to work for Arsenal Football Club and is now MD of MLB Europe, to change that.
I'm really bad at baseball. I came to it far too late. I was applying for the job, or sort of in conversations for the job, when the 2019 series was on, and I distinctly remember sitting there in the stands watching it going, these guys have done an absolutely amazing job. I'm not quite sure I can kind of follow this.
I'm David Marsden from the Evening Standard. This is unusual. Normally, we're talking about UK companies trying to break the US. This time, it's the other way around. You might be surprised to learn how hard it is to do. But let's start with how to make a statement, and that festival of baseball they put on in London when the US took over Trafalgar Square.
We came into that with a couple of objectives. The main one being to just try and give people who hadn't experienced baseball a bit of a flavour of baseball. Yeah. So we had this amazing opportunity at London Stadium where all of our fans were coming and you can see the full game and have that full experience. But we need to be building up a fan base, and so what the Trafalgar Square event gave us the opportunity to do was give people a sort of taster of that. So we had all of the baseball food, all of the drink, entertainment. We had the games on. What we were able to do on the Friday night was also just create a sort of launch moment for the whole weekend with the Home Run Derby X, the cage competition with MLB legends taking part, where again we brought some of the fan community along there. We made it into that just sort of celebration of baseball, and that felt like it kicked the weekend off in an amazing way.
There's a couple of things I thought were really interesting what you said there. The idea of, I guess, it's not just selling baseball itself, but the culture around it. You had the stadium food there, for example, lots of big music. It was very much a big American event in the heart of London, wasn't it? Is that what, I guess, is how you're using people to attract people to look at the sport?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think baseball has a whole range of routes into it, so people become fans for lots of different reasons, and what we've spent quite a lot of time thinking about is what those routes are and how we can maximise those and also get people in. And I think the culture around the games is a fantastic way to do that. You do have that just amazing sort of amount of entertainment that goes with the game. You have all of that food, all of the sort of fashion, all of the sort of merch as well that gets people really excited and is a way into the sport. Ultimately, we do want people to start to follow the sport, to take it seriously, to watch games, to know who's won the World Series. But we need to find accessible routes into that.
Yeah, the merch is an icon of baseball, isn't it? It's one of the things that people will recognise. There are plenty of people going around London right now who are wearing Yankees caps, Boston Red Sox baseball caps, who maybe have never seen a game of baseball in their lives. But is that something that you can kind of latch onto, an icon, and go, do you know there's a story behind this?
Yeah, 100%. And we need to use all of those sort of opportunities that we have. So what we have with Major League Baseball is we have 30 teams that really represent a lot of these most sort of exciting cities in the States, with a whole raft of history and a whole sort of raft of culture that we can play off to just sort of get people interested in what's going on and get people sort of to start to follow the sport.
But how do you make them do that journey then? So you've got someone who's maybe bought a baseball cap and then they've popped along to Trafalgar Square, that little event that was going on there. This is all really exciting. How do you then get them to go to a game? It's
a difficult question, and it's one again that we spend a lot of our time talking about.
That's like your entire job description.
Yeah, exactly. If it was an easy one, we'd have done it. I mean, I think it's by providing a whole raft of touch points and making sure that those touch points feel relevant for those people. So one of the things that we've spent a lot of time on is on our sort of social media strategy and our content strategy, and to make sure that if someone has their interest piqued by buying a Yankees cap or coming along to Trafalgar Square, they then look online and can find something that isn't a million miles away from that experience, but starts to get them into that journey. In the States, baseball is obviously the sort of national pastime. It's a massive sport over there. Over here it is a lot less so, and so we need to provide entry points where it's easy to understand what's going on. It gives you a sort of digested feel around this sport, about what to look out for, what to follow, and for it to be entertaining. I think sort of one of the things that if you came along to Trafalgar Square, hopefully you'd have gone, well, this is fun, is fun, it's entertaining, people are just enjoying it. And so we need to make sure in the content that we do or in the participation pieces that we do, we're also just making sure people have a very similar experience, that it's there's fun involved, it's charming to a certain extent, that we play off these sort of values that we have that maybe distinguish ourselves again from some of the other sports that are out there.
Okay, I'm going to practice my batting for a bit, but while I'm doing that, here are some ads. Why not hit your follow button so you never miss an episode of How to Be a CEO?
So the sheer number of games that take place in a baseball season, because I mean these teams are playing almost every night while they're going. It's not like going to see football at the weekend. This is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. There's a lot of games, and also there's a time difference as well. Some of these are really late. The World Series can start at 1 a.m. in the UK. How do you tackle that? Because that's like an endemic problem. You can't make the team in LA play at a different time just for the UK, can you?
Yeah, I mean, there's two very different kind of pieces there. I think the time difference is a challenge. There are enough games that you can watch on a Sunday evening or on a Friday evening. There are sort of day games on the East Coast are actually fairly convenient to watch prime time over here. So there are opportunities to watch, and we need to do a good job of pointing those out and getting people sort of in those routines that on a Sunday night there'll always be a game on. You can tune into that. So I think that's what we do. But also the amount of games and the fact that they're being played overnight just also gives us a bit of an opportunity. So as people wake up in the morning, if you're a baseball fan, you'll have something to watch. There'll be highlights of that game. You can find out, you can catch up. There'll be a whole raft of stuff that you can see over your sort of serial in the morning. So we need to be cogent of those differences and try and actually create watching patterns or behaviours that respond to that. And we're not alone in the time difference piece. I mean, the NBA, NFL also have those same issues.
So you've got all of these eyes on you again. You had a really successful event in London, you had the game, Cubs and the Cardinals, people are looking at baseball, but you had this before, back in 2019 when you first started, and then of course the pandemic hit. Did that stop everything? Did that bring everything to a sudden close for MLB?
It was certainly a challenge over here. So we had the Cubs and the Cardinals ready to come across in 2020, and had to cancel that, which was a massive shame, and did stop that momentum. We can't kind of deny that. Looking on the positive side, what it enabled us to do was to take a step back, but also take some time to build up those other elements that we needed to really take advantage of those series. So I talk about the content that we do and sort of the participation programs that we do. We now have those embedded in everything. So as this series finished, we have a content team here that are taking full advantage of that, are driving forward so that the new eyeballs that we've got in the sport we're able to sort of develop. We've got First Pitch, which is our sort of primary school participation programme, is now in its third year. We had a festival on Hopkins Field near Stratford during the week before the series, so we're able to again build that up. As people came through in Trafalgar Square, we were able to get them to follow our social channels, to sign up for our emails. We're in a much better place now to actually communicate with all of the sort of people who are starting on that fandom journey, rather than just having one pinnacle moment and going, well, that was great, let's plan for it next year.
Yeah.
To actually figure out we need to be doing stuff all year round.
Yes.
And have that. We're now in a much better position. We certainly don't have it all completely sorted, but we're in a much better position now, and sort of as we go forward, so for next year we'll have a bigger database of fans that we're regularly talking to on email. We'll have a bigger set of social media followers, and that just keeps growing as we're building out through these events.
That was Ben Ladkin, MD of MLB Europe. For more interviews, news and analysis, pick up the Evening Standard newspaper or go to standard.co.uk/business.